Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, or after morning. I'm the Mainly Digger. Welcome to the Mainly Digger Studios podcast. Voice engaged. And in this video, I'm throwing knives. I've recently gotten into the hobby of throwing knives. All eBay finds, I find these knives on eBay and throw them. They're meant to be thrown. They're I wouldn't call them cheap, inexpensive knives. And this is I've learned to I knew how to throw knives. Not really. I mean kind of sorta. Like I was in the military. I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, and it's just a bunch of guys who are bored a lot of the times, who are not, when we're not training, like everybody's got a knife. So you figure out, like, you just start throwing knives, hopefully not at each other. Prior to that, I did a lot of darts. I love throwing darts. I grew up throwing darts as a kid. And so my style is more of what I've learned, what I just recently learned. It's called the no spin or no turn style. So exactly like throwing darts. I didn't know this until I started throwing knives. And there's different types of knives. So different types of knives equal different types of styles. And I'm excited to learn the different types. What I did learn, or what I have learned, is that always wear shoes when you're throwing knives. Common sense. Very common sense. I haven't had any accidents, but I can see where it goes wrong. I can see where it can go bad. Also, always wear thick clothes. Jeans. You see I have a hoodie on, because they do come back at you. They do. They just got to be careful. Got to have really good reflexes. What was the 4Ds of Dodgeball or whatever? Anyway, love that movie. Also, you need to have a stance. There's two different types of stances. One is like you're throwing a baseball or a softball, or I call it a dart stance, because it's I don't know. There's no other way to explain it. The football throw or the baseball throw it's just like you're throwing a baseball or throwing a ball in general. Is you have your dominant hand. So I'm right-handed. So my left leg would be out front, pointing towards whatever I'm throwing at. Versus I call it the dart stance, which is I'm right-handed, so my dominant hand is my right hand. My right leg is out front versus my left leg. Baseball throw or the football throw, you get more speed and more power. And the dart throw, like I said, it's just throwing darts. There's no other way to explain it. Maybe there is, whatever. It's just fun. It's just a fun hobby. The worst sound in the world, I'll tell you, the worst sound, the most defeating sound in the world is when the knives hit the concrete. Because you know you failed. But failure's learning. So also, I've learned to put cardboard, because I'm throwing it in my basement. It's wintertime outside. There's snow on the ground. I'm throwing in my basement. So when I miss and that sound comes, everybody hears it. Not just me. Everybody in the house hears it. So what I've learned is to put cardboard out, and it'll save you from damaging, or not really damaging, but hurting the knives when they fall, hurting the tips, which I have, and you gotta just file fixes it. I don't know if you can see it, but this bad boy's bent a little bit. And this guy, it didn't fall. I stuck it in the wood, and then instead of going up and down like this to get it out, I went up and down like that, and it snapped off. So I mean, it's not the best quality steel, but yeah, I mean, you're gonna beat these up. Knives, throwing knives also don't need to be sharp. They need to have a tip, though. Just the tip. I first bought. They don't even have a name brand. So these three knives are the first knives that I bought off of eBay, and you know what I mean, I guess you'd say they're what I learned on, and pretty easy to learn. And then I bought these guys. And this set of 9 is Perfect Point, which is a Chinese-made brand. And like I explained, it's not really high quality, but you're not looking for high quality knives when you're learning. So it's, I mean, they're just cool, and they don't, I mean, yeah, as you can see, the handle wrapping doesn't really last long on them. And I'm probably going to replace all of these with like some type of tape or grip tape. And they're the shark tooth shaped knives. They're called something else, but I can't really think of them right now. I mean, if you're going to learn on anything, these guys are the easiest to learn because they're pointed. They're pointed. It's easy to stick stuff into wood or whatever when it's pointed, and that's what these knives are. They're pointed and they're more like, I don't know, like needles, I guess. They look like a dragon's tooth, and they're all from China. They're all inexpensive, cheaply made, because you're gonna break them. There's no point in buying expensive knives to throw. This is the biggest thing that I've learned, because I've always been that in sharpening. That I mean, I was always taught you buy good knives, good quality knives, you keep a sharp edge on them, and that's good for hunting and cutting and stuff like that. But I saw somebody throw a butter knife and it stuck, and so it's just one of those things. You don't need expensive quality to learn how to do this. You just buy a cheap knife and throw it. The thing is, the best way to learn is to continuously do it. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, I have the dart throwing stance down, or the no spin throwing stance down, or style down. Now I got to teach myself how to do something else, another style. There's so many, not so many styles, but there probably is. I have the smaller knife throwing down. I want to get into the bigger knives, which I bought 2 or 3 moderately size knives, and then I bought these 3, and they're a little bit harder to learn to stick. And I think I need to learn a different style to stick them, a different style than the dart style or the no spin style. The outer curve, and then you have the point and the outer curve, and those are harder to stick. I've gotten a couple of sticks on them, but I need to work. I need practice, and I only have one kind of big knife, and I'm learning on that one. I haven't stuck that one yet. I'm getting there. Then there's this guy, which I think this was also an eBay buy. It was an eBay buy, but I think it was originally they sold it as a diving knife. To be a throwing knife, but it's going to be turned into a throwing knife. I already have a diving knife. Anyway, more on stance. And distance. Distance is important. So practice, practice, practice. Distance. Learning your distances and learning when to release and how much power or pressure when you throw to have it stick. And it's math, really. It is and I might find the mathematical equation on how throwing knives. So it's distance, and they say 3 meters or 3 feet for learning, which is for most people on average is a walking. If you take a walking step, that is 3 meters or 3 feet. from the Mainly Digger Studios. We'll see where this goes. Mainly Dig Out.